What makes a good creepypasta? Is it perhaps the story? Is it perhaps the characters? Or maybe it's whether if they're true or not. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about one in general. One story. One story that had a rise, a fall, a removal, and then an unexpected rise again. And probably in a bad way. Hell, the worst way. Let me explain. Sonic.Exe, one of the most classic stories out there on the Creepypasta Wiki. Or, I guess not, since it got kinda removed. It was a story unlike others. It had a bit of a. Oh, what should I say? A bit of a reputation. It was a story about a kid. Of course, like all stories are nowadays, are about kids. This kid in general got a copy of Sonic. And the main premise is he puts it in, he plays it, and he notices that something's off. Now let's take it back a bit. Where did it actually originate? Well, the story itself actually originated from a picture. A sort of unique picture. Yeah, unique. It was basically just Sonic with black eyes, red dots, and just a different colored background. That was it. And then, as soon as it became viral, it just started popping up. The story popped up, games popped up. Overall, it was just. It had a bit of a unique reputation, to say the least. Well, let's talk about that reputation. So, to start off, we should begin with the game. The very game that started it all. The very game that inspired so many to create a lot of projects on this one topic alone. This one topic that actually got deleted because it was thought to be a troll. And of course, well, can you blame him? I mean, the mods literally thought it was just some troll that some guy just made up. Well, that game, I can't say anything good about it, nor can I say anything bad about it. The game basically works off of the original story. You got three characters, Tails, Knuckles, and Robotnik. You play as Tails. You walk on a rather simple terrain with no even connection to the original game's level design. You walk up, you find Sonic, and then you are in Angel Forest, I think. Or maybe it was something else. I don't really play the Sonic games a lot, at least the old ones, so I don't really know what the place is, but it's definitely on fire. And you would run, and it's basically like hide and seek, but the thing is, it's not really hide and seek, is it? I mean, to be honest, admit it. You played the game. You played the game. You can and argue with me all you want, saying, no, it's a hide and seek game. It's more or less like tag. The game It just doesn't make sense. But that's not what we're talking about, okay? And then Tails gets caught. Boom. Tails.exe. We move on to Knuckles. Same premise. You run up, you find the enemy, with a bit of a unique difference in his appearance. You punch at some air, you get tired, and then you die. And Robotnik kind of switches it up, alright? It switches it up. It's the same premise, but it has multiple layers. It actually looks like a real level. It looks like a real level that could be hidden in the game. You have Robotnik walking down some stairs. Walking down some stairs, mate. And then you walk down some more stairs. And then you reach the bottom. And then you die. And then you have some nice bit of stolen art. Wow. Really, really, it was unique. It was a bit of a... No. I'm not going to criticize anyone. I'm only criticizing the game, alright? It's no one's fault that the game ended up the way it did. But it just is kind of bland. It's like the original story, okay? It's sort of a troll. I mean, let's start with the bads, okay? It's simple. Too simple, alright? It's just a flat terrain, and then you walk up and you find some bodies, and then the music changes, and then you just walk to your death. You walk into a different level, and then you're meant to run, and you get caught anyways. And then you just have the second level, and it's just the same thing, except there is no hide and seek, or, well, I guess tag. There is none of that. It's just you punching some air, and then you die. And then the next time, you just walk down some stairs, and then you die. And then you reach the stolen art page of the actual game. Like, the end. So, what makes this game bad? You're probably asking me. Well, it's simple. That's literally it. It's simple. It doesn't have any creativity. It's just one straight path. Now, that's all going to probably be retconned in a few minutes, probably, when I talk about the other games. Not like EYX, not like PC port. No, all those are good. They're doing alright. Pretty alright for, just a simple EXE game, alright? Those games are good. I'm more or less talking about, like, Spirits of Hell, Nightmare Beginning, Nightmare Continued, such and such. But the game itself is just bland. It doesn't have any creativity. It's just walk up and then die. It's just, no. But here's the good thing about it. Not only are they like all the games that I just meant, not only are they like the games that I just mentioned that are gonna be retconning the bads of this game, but it was better than the story. It gave players the experience that they probably were thinking of when reading the original story. It gave people an adventure. I mean, think about it. There have been many games out there, many creepypasta games. There's also like a 3D exploration event where you just walk around in a few houses and then you get multiple endings for Ben Drowned. It's like that. But it's simple. It has good art style. It actually has, like, original sprites from the actual game, which is probably also stealing from Sega, but still, it was an extraordinary event for this game's creation. It practically kickstarted the game community into a hyperdrive. It just made a bunch of people decide, this is a nice game. I want to make one. I'm gonna make one. That's the thing. The game itself may have its bads, but it also has its goods. And even better, it inspired people. It gave people what they demanded. They wanted adventure. They wanted a good horror experience, and they got it. Although simple, although uneventful, they got it. They got the scares, they got the... It was just extraordinary. Now, let's talk about what's not extraordinary. Spirits of Hell, Nightmare Beginning, all of those, they suck. Alright, I'm gonna flat out say it, they suck. Now, this may sound controversial to a lot of people. A lot of people who are seeing this eventually are probably gonna say, but no, they're good. Those are probably just kids, okay? Not gonna lie. Now let me tell you what I think. The games themselves, what can I say? They started to become less about a horror experience and more about endings, okay? Take Nightmare Beginning, for example. You have a bunch of characters, you have EXEs, you have good characters, all that, blah, blah, blah. Same basic concept, except better level design. These games, as time went on, the devs just sorta, I don't know what happened, but their game creating skills just sorta shifted from the basic premise of horror and then just made something, okay? The original game itself was garbage and simple, but it did the one thing that these games didn't do. They gave horror. They didn't give you a choice. You didn't have a choice whether you could escape. You didn't have a choice at all whether you wanted to save someone or whether you wanted to go somewhere or do something. No, you didn't even have the opportunity to defeat the enemy because the original game didn't see it that way. It actually gave horror. It was the epiphany of horror, probably. It was the horror. But then these games came along with all their multiple endings and decisions and, choices to escape. Their story is good, but they're not accurate. They're not accurate with the original game or even the original story. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't even add up when you think about it. I want you to take a few seconds before any of you seeing this video in the future, just try and type in the comments. I want you to take a second, breathe firstly, and stop typing. Think about it. What was the best experience that you've ever felt in terms of horror when you first saw the original game? Now stepping forward a bit into modern day society. What experience did Nightmare Beginning give you? What type of experience did Spirits of Hell give you? It had a few jump scares thrown in, and they had original characters, but Where's the sense? Where's the thought that you can't escape this? This is your fate. If I don't see that, then I don't know. But that's just my opinion, okay? I'm not gonna go any further. I'm not gonna criticize anyone. I'm just saying, I don't see the sense in these games. I don't see the horror that these games provided, other than the fact that they were just sort of there. To me, they had a fine story. They had good characters. They probably had an original art style. They probably had different levels. It's good to switch it up from the original actual game that started the whole thing, like Sonic CD or all those classics. But the accuracy with the word horror, to me, it's just this one whole, all right, buddy, let's take it back a bit. It's just that one word. It isn't exactly horror, at the same time it is. So let's put in like the topic of it being a sort of telltale game with a bunch of choices. Except the choices are actually influenced by you moving. Like either getting caught on purpose just to get an ending, or maybe running forward to try and avoid the danger. Other than that, that's pretty much all I see in those games. Just fine story, good characters, and level design. Not exactly accurate with the topic of horror, and more choice based. But it is pretty good. If I were to give a rating, it would be definitely a 5, okay? Not good, but not great. And not bad either. So, I have no idea. Alright, bye.